Brush strokes. When working with painting, there are a lot of different kinds of brushes, but even though that you may have a limited few that you like, there are different ways you can actually use your brush. Now, as you can see from this video right here, there are a couple different ways that you can work with brushes. You can do dotting, you can do dashes, do squiggles. If you press a little harder on it, it'll make bigger, wider strokes. And then if you lighten up, they make smaller ones. Also, the way you hold a brush, whether it's a flat, hold it wide, or you kind of turn it and it becomes slim. Now here's a range of a whole bunch of different kinds of brushes and what they can possibly do. Now, some of these techniques take a little bit of work by, possibly taking the brush and turning them to do what you want, or just by brushing them straight out. Here are more examples of what some brushes can do. Also, the simple brushes like a flat brush or a round brush can do a lot of things, even though it's just one brush. Different ways of, making them thick, thin, swooping them, having a lot of paint on stuff on the end, or just by having a little bit amount will change the different kind of strokes that you can use. Color mixing. Now, the color wheel is made up of 3 different types of colors. You have your primary colors, which you cannot mix. They're the red, yellow, and blue. Then you have the secondary colors, which are made by mixing 2 primary colors. They are orange, green, and purple. And the final level is tertiary. Tertiary colors tend to be a secondary and a primary put together. And when you call them by their name, they're normally the primary color first. So, for example, yellow-green makes yellow-green. Right? Another way of having your colors, instead of mixing them, is by adding white or black. When you have the original color, we tend to call it the hue or the local color. By adding white or tinting a color, depending on how much white, will make it lighter. By adding black, if you add a little bit or a lot, you're ending up creating shades. Now, another way of mixing colors is by using this chart. Now, you can also kind of gauge by looking at some colors and saying, okay, well, what kind of looks might be in there. The simple ones, by just looking at the color wheel, will give you a good idea. But for unusual colors, you might need to kind of mix a variation. One set of colors is adding complements. As you can see from this chart, if you go along a red line and it intersects with a green, you're probably going to notice that that red will get a little deeper. That's meant by adding the complement, okay? If you add equal amounts, you're going to get more of the brown color. So if you actually follow a blue and then cross-reference it with an orange, you're more than likely going to get a muddy, brownish color if they are of equal amounts. Here are some great examples of tempera paintings. You'll notice that they use a variety of different kind of brush strokes and also a variety of different colors as well.